A great day to one and all. Welcome to the Fast Drills review for mathematics majors. So for this session, I will be giving you 100 questions, and each of these questions should be as answered as fast as possible. So for each question that I will be showing, there are only two choices, namely A and B. So whenever the question appears, please comment your answer right away. And these are more of facts, more of principles, more of understanding questions, no? So once magpalabas mo ng questions, bigay po agad ang answer. Because our goal is to discuss 100 items within 2 hours or within 120 minutes. So I hope that you are with me in this journey, and let's hope for the best po. Okay? So choose the letter of the correct answer. Again po ha, dalawa lang po yung pagpipilian, or A or B. Wala pong C or D dito. So with that, without further ado, let's begin and let's hope for the best. Let's have question number 1. Which of the following ancient number systems used base 60? Is it A, Babylonians, or B, Egyptians? Okay, I could see that many of you answered letter A and only few answered B. The correct answer here po is Babylonians. In fact, the base 60 numeration is also what we call sexagesimal system or base 60. And it was passed down to the ancient Babylonians and is still used in a modified form, especially in measuring time. That's why you could see in a minute there are 60 seconds. In an hour there are 60 minutes. So number 1 is letter A. Number 2, this type of number system has made use of some of the letters of the English alphabet to represent quantities. Is it the Akkadian or the Roman? Okay, I see many people answered letter B, Romans, and you are actually correct. The Roman numeral system uses only 7 symbols: I, V, X, L, C, D, and M, and the different arrangements of these 7 symbols represent different numbers. No? So it's letter B. In fact, fun fact, the Roman numeral system has no numeral for 0. Okay, letter B. Number 3, the term length refers to the measurement of length from tip of the thumb to the tip of the middle finger. Is it A, bisig, or B, dangkal? Wow, bilis po ah. Your answer is letter B. If you answered B, dangkal, you are actually correct. It is the distance between the tip of the man's thumb and the tip of his little finger. Yung sa iba naman po yung middle finger, no? Depende po sa reference. When the hand is spread out. Letter B. Good job, everyone. Pabilisan po. Number 4. Which of the following best describes sandamak? Is it A, the width of the hand with 5 fingers pressed together? Or is it B, the span of 2 expanded arms? A or B? Paki-comment po. Sandamak. Okay. For number 4, some answered letter A and some of you answered letter B. Okay? The correct answer here is letter A. Sandamak po is the width of the hand with 5 fingers pressed together. Yung letter B option naman po, the span of 2 expanded arms is what we call tipa. No? Letter A ang tamang sagot. So ito po, from here to here, sandamak po yan. Letter A. Number 5. He is regarded as the father of algebra. Sino po siya? Is it A, Herodotus, or B, Al-Khwarizmi? Okay, wow. Many people commented letter B. If you answered letter B, Al-Khwarizmi, you are actually correct. Herodotus po is the father of history. No? The correct answer here is Al-Khwarizmi. He is regarded as the father of algebra. So far, so good. Good job po mga kaguro. Item number 6. He is an Italian mathematician who was famed for his algebraic solution of cubic equations. which was eventually published in Ars Magna? Is it A, Niccolo Tartaglia, or is it Isaac Newton? Okay, I could see many people answered letter A. If you answered Niccolo Tartaglia, that is actually correct. No? He was an Italian mathematician who was famed for his algebraic solution of cubic equations. So kapag sinabi po natin cubic equations, ito yung mga polynomial equations of degree 3, or meaning the highest degree or the highest exponent of your variable is 3. Yung Ars Magna naman po, or Ars Magna, is work po yan ni Girolamo Cardano. Letter A. Number 7. Good job. Which of the following is a contribution of Leonard Euler in the field of mathematics and science? Is it A, pioneered the study of graph theory? Or B, is it the principle of buoyancy related to fluids? A or B? Contribution ni Leonard Euler. Okay, some of you answered 7A and many of you answered letter B. Ang tamang sagot po ay letter A po. No? He is actually regarded as the inventor or the person who pioneered the study of graph theory. No? So we have your nodes, vertices, edges. Yung principle of buoyancy related to fluids naman po ay actually attributed po siya no, kay Archimedes. No? So yung eureka moment niya. So letter A po ang tamang sagot dito. Number 8. She is a female mathematician who invented the astrolabe for ship navigation and devices for measuring the density of fluids. Is it Ada Lovelace or B, Hypatia? Wow, many people answered letter B, which is Hypatia. If you answered Hypatia, you are correct. Ada Lovelace wrote the first computer program in the world. She is the first computer programmer in the world, regardless of sex. Hypatia po is the one that's being described in the sentence. Letter B. Okay. Number 9. If n is odd, then n squared is it odd or is it even? A odd or B even? Maki-comment po. Okay, according to Sir Jason and many of you, it is letter A, which is odd. Sure ba yan? Let's see kung tama. For example, if we let n to be an odd number, say 1, you could see no, that n squared or 1 squared is equal to 1. That is actually odd. That's why if you square an odd number, expect to get an odd number as well. Letter A. Good job, everyone. Number 10. What type of sequence is 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and so on? Is it an arithmetic sequence? Or B, is it geometric? Okay. I could see many people answered letter A, which is arithmetic sequence. And if you answered arithmetic, you are actually correct. An arithmetic sequence has a common difference, whereas a geometric sequence has a common ratio po. Kapag sinabi po nating common difference, no? So halimbawa, 3 minus 1, 2. 5 minus 3, 2. 7 minus 5, 2. 9 minus 7, 2, and so on. Or as you move from left to right, to get the next term, you are actually adding the common difference. Yung geometric sequence naman po, from one term to the next, you are multiplying no, by a certain number called the common ratio. So the correct answer indeed is arithmetic sequence. 11. What type of sequence is 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, and so on? Is it arithmetic or is it geometric? Okay, pabilisan nga talaga. No? Many people answered B. And since you could see from here, no, that as you move from one term to the other, times 2, 2. 2 times 2, 4. Times 2, 8. Times 2, 16, and so on. You are multiplying by a certain constant value. And since you are multiplying from left to right, that is now a geometric sequence. Letter B. Number 12. Which of the following is an example of a polynomial? A, x square root of 3, or B, 3 square root of x? A or B? Number 12. Okay. B daw. Okay, for number 3 or for number 12, many people answered letter B, which is 3 square root of x. Polynomial, okay. If you answered letter B po for number 12, I'm sorry, but the correct answer is letter A. Take note po ha, if there is a radical sign, take note that for it to be a polynomial, no, the variable should not be under a square root or a radical sign, no? So, okay lang po na meron kang constant na nasa loob ng isang radical symbol, no? Or yung radicand is a constant, pero ang variable po, hindi po pwede. So, again po ha, letter A po. Careful po tayo. 13. Which of the following statements is correct about mathematical investigation? A, open-ended, or B, closed? Okay, many people answered letter A, bilis. If you answered letter A, that is actually correct. No? So mathematical investigation is actually you are dealing with open-ended situation. It's an open-ended situation, no? Wherein you choose the problems na gusto mong sagutin about that situation. So open-ended po siya. Letter A. Good job. 14. Hypothesis is to science as blank is to mathematics. Is it A, guess, or B, conjecture? Okay, sabi ni Sir Lloyd, letter B. And karamihan po sa inyo sumagot ng B, konti po yung sumagot ng A. And take note po, the correct answer here is conjecture. When we say conjecture, it's an opinion or judgment formed on defective or presumptive evidence. Probable inference, surmise, it's a guess or suspicion as well. No? So in mathematics, particularly in mathematical investigation, a conjecture is a formula or a possible solution to your problem. Letter B. 15. It is a part of the mathematical investigation paper where the investigators check if the formulas found work for some tried and untried cases. A, deriving, or B, verifying. Okay, comment po. Okay, many people answered letter B, although there are some who answered letter A. And the correct answer here is, kapag sinabi po nating deriving, you are figuring out the formula or conjecture from the situation. Meaning to say, sa deriving part po, wala ka pang conjecture, hinahanap mo pa lang kung ano yung conjecture mo. Whereas, when we speak about verifying, no, meron ka ng conjecture and you are just checking if your formula or if your conjecture works for some known or unknown cases or tried and untried cases. So ang tamang sagot po ay letrang B. I hope na clear po sa atin. Congrats sa lahat ng sumagot ng B. Be happy. 16. Which of the following are methods of proof that may be used to justify conjectures? Example, is it A, direct proof, or B, direct substitution? Okay. Take note po ha, example. Okay, direct substitution yung sagot ng karamihan. The types of proof, you have your direct, indirect, proof by contradiction, proof using cases, exhaustive proofs, proof by mathematical induction, other method. There are also different other types of proof, no? You could see po, no, that direct substitution is not one of them actually. Letter B. Thank you po. 17. Okay, push po natin to. 1, 5, 9, 13, and so on is an example of a blank. Is it a sequence or is it a series? Anyone? Okay. Sequence ba ito o series? Yung number 17. Okay, A daw. Sabi ni Mary Kate, and the list of A's goes on. If you answered letter A, I'm happy to say that you are actually correct. Bakit po? Yung sequence kasi, it's actually, a function whose domain is a set of natural numbers and whose range is a set of real numbers. So if you have a list alone like this, that's a sequence. However, kapag sinabi po nating series, kapag inat mo na, or if you are finding the sum na ng lahat ng terms ng sequence, series na po yun. So letter A. Number 18. 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 is an example of is it a sequence or is it a series? Okay, many people answered letter B. So kung nakikita niyo po, no, this time, it's not only a list, but you are now adding the terms of a sequence, and that is the definition of what we call a series. So that is 1 plus 3 plus 5 and is an example of a series na po. Kasi kinukuha mo na yung sum nila. Alright, ang saya nito. Number 19, the sum of two numbers is 8 and their product is 7. What are the numbers? Is it A, 1 and 7, or B, 2 and 6? 19? Okay, letter A daw. Sabi ng madlang people, mabuhay. If you answered letter A, kung inyo pong mapapansin, no? The numbers are indeed 1 and 7. Bakit po? If you add them, 1 plus 7, the sum is 8. If you multiply them, 1 times 7 is 7. So the choices in letter A, 1 and 7, satisfy letter A. Sabi ni Sir Francisco, ang daming A, sir. 20. Is the point 32 part of the graph of 2x plus 3y equals 12? A, yes. B, no. Okay, what do you think? Okay, letter A, ang sabi ni Ma'am Mary Kate, ni Sir Jerome. And sa lahat ng nag-comment so far, letter A din po yung sagot nila. And take note for us to verify kung part nga ba talaga siya ng line na yan, to check if 3, 2 is really part of the graph, all you have to do is substitute the x by 3 because it's understood it's the x coordinate. 2 here is the y coordinates. So y will be substituted by 2. So by substitution, 2 times 3 plus 3 times 2. Is it really equal to 12? So 2 times 3 is 6 plus 3 times 2, which is 6. And you could see that the left side and right side are both equal to 12. Hence, since 3, 2 satisfies the equation, we could say that yes, 3, 2 is part of the graph of 2x plus 3y equals 12. Letter A. Galing. 21. In 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on, 1 and 5 are called blank. Is it A, means, or B, extremes? Take note po, sorry. Wala pong, please, never mind, no? Wala pong ellipsis dito, sorry. Okay, so, ang answer nila ay B, and if you answered B, you are actually correct po. Bakit? Kapag sinabi po nating means, lahat ng terms na nasa between the first and the last term ay yung means natin. No? Yung means po dito ay 2, 3, 4. Yung extremes naman po refers to the first and last terms of a sequence. So 1 and 5 are the means. Letter B. 22. This is the segment connecting the center and a point on the circle. Ano po ito? Is it the radius or B, is it a chord? Okay, letter A daw, radius. Okay, and if you answered radius, I'm proud of you because you are correct. Yung radius connects the center and a point on the circle. Samantalang yung chord naman po is a segment connecting any two points that lie on the circumference of your circle. So letter A ang tamang sagot. Magaling. 23. Given the functions f of x equals x squared plus 2x minus 24 and g of x equals x plus 6, what is f over g of x? Is it x minus 4 or is it x plus 4? Ibig sabihin po nito, yung f of x ay i-divide po by g of x. Is it letter A or letter B? Okay. 23, letter A daw. Sabi ng hello, madlang people, mabuhay. Tama nga kaya ang letter A. And if you do this, no, you could see that x squared plus 2x minus 24 could be factored as x plus 6 times x minus 4. And your denominator, we just copy the x plus 6. So x plus 6 is a common factor, and thus we can divide them both. And what will be left is x minus 4, letter A. Good job, everyone. Letter A. 24. This is a quadrilateral with 4 equal sides. Is it A, square, or is it B, rhombus? Okay, let's see. Some of you answered B, but many of you answered A. Okay? Okay, marami pong sumagot ng A, pero may mangilang-ilang sumagot ng B. If you answered A, I'm sorry, you have to try again. Please reconsider. It's actually a rhombus. Be careful po ha. Kapag 4 equal sides lang po yung sinabi, rhombus po yon. Pero kapag sinabi niyang 4 equal sides and 4 equal angles, square po yon. So that's why be very careful po. All squares are rhombuses as well, no? That's why yung the best answer po dito ay rhombus. Be careful po ha. Kapag 4 equal sides lang yung tinatanong, rhombus lang. Pero 4 equal sides and 4 equal angles, square po yung isagot ninyo. Careful po. Ligwak ang madlang people, mabuhay. Ay, grabe siya. Okay. Pero at least po, yung mahalaga po, na-clear out po natin yung confusion. That's why mabilisan po ito. 25. Which of the following is a function? Many to one or one to many? Saan yung function? Many to one or one to many? Okay, letter B daw. Marami kaya ang makakakuha ng tamang sagot? O marami kaya ang maliligwak ganun? And the correct answer is, para hindi po kayo mawala, mga moms and sirs, no? Many to one po. Tandaan niyo po ha, para hindi po kayo mawala, lahat ng function, lahat ng relations na ending with 1 are functions. Halimbawa, 1 to 1, many to 1. Sila lang pong dalawa ang function. 1 to many is a function but is not, 1 to many is a relation but not a function. Letter A po. Again ha, 1 to 1 at many to 1 lang po ang function. 26. Which of the following is not a prime number? Is it 91 or is it 71? Oh. Okay, letter A ang sagot. 91 nga ba? Hindi prime number? If you answered 91, tama po kayo. In fact, 91 has 4 positive factors, no? 1, 7, 13, and 91, whereas 71 is a prime number. Letter A. Good job, everyone. 27. This refers to the x-coordinate of a point on the Cartesian plane. Is it the abscissa or is it the ordinate? X-coordinate, abscissa or ordinate? Okay, very good. Many people answered letter A, which is actually correct. Yung ordinate naman po ay y-coordinate ng isang point sa Cartesian plane. Letter A. 28. The notation, this is read as A divides B, implies that B is divisible by A. Which of the following is true? A, 8 divides 4, or 8 divides 48. All right. Many people answered letter B, which is actually correct. Letter B. 8 does not divide 4. Okay, be careful po ha. But 4 divides 8. Remember that your divisor should not be greater than your dividend. Your divisor could be equal or less than your dividend po. Letter B. 29. What is the remainder when an odd number is divided by 2? Is it A, 1? Or is it B, 0? Okay. An odd number is divided by 2. Ano yung remainder? Alright, lahat po ata sumagot ng letter A, which is 1. And you are actually correct. An even number, when divided by 2, gives a remainder of 0, but an odd number, an odd natural number, divided by 2, always gives a remainder of 1. Letter A. Grabe, no? Ang bilis natin. Pero kaya po, no? 30. 0 is considered as, is it A, even, or is it B, odd? Even ba siya o odd yung 0? Okay, sabi ni Sir, sabi ni Ma'am Mary, ni Ma'am Elizabeth, letter A daw. At lahat ng nag-comment, letter A daw. If you answered letter A, I am also very happy for you. Tandaan po natin ha, although 0 is a multiple no of any 0 no is an integer as well. Take note po ha, if we talk about integers, 0 is actually considered even. Because if you divide 0 by 2, the remainder is 0. 31. All natural numbers are rational numbers. Yes or no? All natural numbers are, excuse me. Okay, what do you think? Okay, the correct answer is, okay, yes or no? The correct answer is actually yes. Bakit po? Because natural numbers are subsets of rational numbers. That's why lahat ng natural numbers ay actually rational numbers. Letter B. All right, so letter B. 32. Which is larger? 3.34 or 3 3/4? Okay, letter B daw. Mabilisan po ito. So, that's why the items here are not really that very difficult, pero mabilisan lang po. Okay, letter A. May sumagot pero marami sa inyo sumagot ng B, no? There are many ways of doing this, and one thing that I did is that I converted or expressed them, no, into decimal form. A is already in decimal format, but 3 3/4 when written in decimal form is 3.75. And we could see clearly, no, that 3.75 is larger than 3.34. B. 33. What do you call a set with no element? Is it A, singleton, or B, null set? Okay? All right, very good, no? Marami po sa atin ang sumagot ng letrang D, pero may mangilan-ngilan pong sumagot ng letter A. Ang tamang sagot po ay letter B, null set. A null set is a set with no element, no? It has a cardinality of 0. Samantalang kapag sinabi naman po nating singleton, it is actually a set pero iisa lang po yung kanyang element. Okay? Letter B, null set. 34. What do you call a set with unlimited cardinality? Is it A, infinite, B, or finite? Ay, grabe siya, no to single. Grabe ka, sir, ha? Okay. Infinite, unlimited cardinality, infinite or finite? Okay, very good. It's actually infinite set. A finite set naman po has limited cardinality, meaning there is, for example, if a set has 5 elements, a set has 1,300 elements, that's finite. Yung infinite naman po, hindi po natin mabilang kung ilan talaga. Take note also po ha, that infinity does not represent a single number. Letter A. 35. Which is a perfect square? A, 8, or B, 64? Okay, infinite na pagmamahal sa akin. Ay, sana all. Grabe siya. Which is a perfect square? 8 or 64? Okay, many are convinced, no? Na letter D daw yung tamang sagot. And if you answered letter B, you are correct. When we say perfect square po, no? If we are talking about natural numbers n, for example, if n is a natural number, then, or let's say 64 is actually a perfect square because it could be expressed as the square of 8 or 8 times 8, no? Or if you multiply a natural number with itself, the resulting number is a perfect square. Letter B. 8 is not a perfect square, but it is a perfect cube. 36. He invented linear programming. Sino po ito? Is it A, George Danzig, or is it Euler? Okay, A daw talaga. Grabe, convinced talaga si ma'am. Sana all. And if you answered Danzig, you are actually correct, no? So George, it's Danzig who invented linear programming, no? And he is a distinguished professor of a certain university. Whereas Euler is one of the most prolific mathematicians of all time. Letter A. 37. This refers to the collection of objects with a common characteristic. Is it a set or is it a group? Okay, letter A, group. And it seems that many are convinced about set. All right. All right, let's see. The correct answer is actually a set, letter A. So it is a collection of objects with a common characteristic. When we say group naman po, no, say in abstract algebra, um, it could be a set with a certain binary operation, no, that satisfies all the properties of a group, namely closure, associativity, identity property, and inverse property po. But what is being described here is letter A, set. Okay. Ang 3 and 3/4 po sa calculator, ma'am, is 3.75 po ha. Hindi po siya 2.25. Paki-check lang po. But maybe sa mode po. Thank you. 38. The set of natural numbers n equals 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on is an example of our n. What kind of set? Is it finite or is it infinite? Okay. If you could see po, no, meron po siyang first term, but since you have ellipsis here, no, and there's no last term, this actually tells us that this set continues indefinitely and thus is an example of what we call infinite set. Because this one has unlimited cardinality. 39. The set containing the number 3 is the blank of set A with elements 1, 2, 3 and B with elements 3, 4, 5. Is it A, intersection, or B, union? Okay, reading your comments po. Many of you are convinced na tama si letter A. Pero tama nga ba si letter A? Yun yung tanong. If you answered A, 80, wow, you are actually correct. Because when we speak about the intersection of two sets, no, it is the elements na makikita sa both sets. Meaning, it is an element that is common to two sets. So kung makikita po natin, no, that 3 is common to both sets and it is the only element that is found in both of them. So it is intersection. Kung union po, yung union po nila is a set containing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And remember, if there are some elements that are repeated, you are only going to write the element exactly once, not twice or more. 40. If A equals the set 1, 2, 3, and B is a set containing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then A is what? This is read as subset. Is it A? A is a subset of B, or B? A is an element of B. Okay. 40 AD, wow daw, sana all. If you answered letter A, mga kaguro, I am happy and proud of you dahil tama po yan. Bakit tama po si letter A? Bakit masasabi natin A is a subset of B? Because lahat ng elements ni A na 1, 2, 3 ay makikita sa set B na may elements 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No? That's why letter A. Very good. 41. What property of addition is A plus B equals B plus A? Is it A, associative, B, commutative? Okay, anong tawag po sa property na yan? Associative ba yan o commutative? Wow! Many answered B, commutative. And you are actually correct, no? Yung associative property of addition po is the sum of A and B added by C is the same as the sum of A added by the sum of B and C. And what is being described, A plus B equals B plus A, is actually commutative property. Very good. B. 42. What is the additive inverse of 3? Is it A, negative 3, or B, 1/3? Additive inverse. So mga basic terminologies po muna yung ina-unlock natin ngayon. Okay, so letter A, yung sagot ng madlang people. Mabuhay kaya kayo? And if you answered letter A, tama po kayo. When we speak about the additive inverse po, no, ano po yung i-add mo sa kanya para maging 0 yung sum? So yung additive inverse ng positive ay negative. That's why yung additive inverse ng 3 ay negative 3. Yung additive inverse naman ng negative ay positive. Halimbawa po, yung additive inverse ng negative 1 ay positive 1. Kapag sinabi naman po nating multiplicative inverse, reciprocal po yan. But take note po ha, yung additive inverse ng 0 ay 0. Yung multiplicative inverse naman po ay reciprocal po yan. And we all know that all real numbers have reciprocals except for 0. That's why yung multiplicative inverse ng 3 ay 1/3. And if you multiply a non-zero number with its multiplicative inverse, dapat yung sagot po ay 1. Halimbawa, 3 times 1/3 equals 1. So yung sagot, by the way, is letter A. 43. If 3, 9 blank are the first 3 terms of an arithmetic sequence, the third term is it A, 15, or is it B, 27? Okay, arithmetic sequence po tayo, okay? Arithmetic sequence. Okay, many people answered B. Take note po madlang people ha. Arithmetic sequence has a common difference. Meaning, if you subtract the second by the first, the third by the second, then the value that you will get is constant. And if you answered letter A, you are actually correct. Why? Diba dito? From 3, 9 minus 3, 6. That's why nag-a-add po tayo dapat ng 6 from left to right. 3 plus 6, 9. 9 plus 6, 15. Okay? Yung 27 naman po, it's true, no? Kung geometric mean po siya. Dahil 3 times 3, 9. 9 times 3, 27. Kung geometric mean po sana yung hinihingi, kung geometric sequence, I mean, ito, 27 po muna. 27 po. Arithmetic eh. Grabe siya. Third term po. Letter A. 44. If 2, 4, blank are the first three terms of a geometric sequence, the third term is it 8 or is it 6? Okay. So, letter A, ang sagot ng madlang people. Grabe. Tama nga kaya ang A. Kung A po yung sagot nyo, you are actually correct. Dahil sa geometric sequence, meron po tayong tinatawag na common ratio. So ito po if you divide the second by the first, 4 divided by 2, you will get 2, di po ba? So times 2 po tayo from left to right. 2 times 2, 4. 4 times 2, 8. That's why ang tamang sagot po dito ay indeed letter A. 44, okay lang ang third term, hindi lang mag-third party. Ay, grabe siya. May third party po ba sa inyo? Biro lang po. But letter A is the correct answer. 45. What can you say about sets A? Yung elements ni set A ay 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yung elements ni set B ay A, B, C, D, E. Is it A, they are both equal and equivalent? Or B, they are equivalent but not equal? Wow, sabi ni Sir Christian, B for Bebe. Ay, sana all. Meron ka Bebe, no? And if you answered B, you are actually tama po. Bakit? Kapag sinabi po natin equal sets kasi, dapat parehas po yung elements, no? Ng both sets. Pero yung elements ni A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ay hindi po parehas sa elements ni B na A, B, C, D, E. Although, makikita po natin na magkasing dami po yung kanilang elements. A has 5 elements. B also has 5 elements. No? That's why they are equivalent pero hindi po equal. Letter B. 46. How many subsets does A with elements A, B, C have? Is it 8 or 16? Okay. Letter A, according to Mary Kate, and the succeeding 4 answers. And if you answered 8, tama nga kaya? We'll see. Tandaan po natin if you have a finite set, the number of subsets of these sets is actually 2 raised to n, where n is the number of elements of that given finite set. So since A has 3 elements, no? Tatlo lang po yung elements niya. By substitution to this formula, that's 2 cubed or 2 times 2 times 2, and you get 8. That's why without listing, what we know is that it has 8 subsets. It has to be letter A. So it's letter A. Thank you po. 47. What do you call the arrangement of objects where order is important? Is it permutation or is it combination? All right, many people answered letter A, which is permutation, and permutation is actually correct, no? So in permutation po, ang order ay nagmamatter. For example, 1, 2. Kapag binaliktad mo 2, 1, nag-iba na po yung meaning. No? Pero yung combination naman po kasi, order does not matter. So kahit yung peg or yung hugot po dito ay wala akong pakialam sa order nating dalawa. Yung mahalaga, magkasama tayo. Sana all. So the correct answer is letter A, permutation. 48. This refers to the if part of a conditional statement. Is it the conclusion or is it the premise? Very good. The if part is what we call premise. Yung then part naman po ng isang conditional ay tinatawag nating conclusion. Halimbawa, if an angle is right, then its measure is 90 degrees. The if part is the premise. The then part or the starting from then, that part is your conclusion. Letter B. Very good. 49. The conjunction of a true and a false statement is it false or is it true? Kapag sinabi po natin conjunction and, kapag sinabi po natin disjunction or, conjunction and disjunction or. So, true and false. Is it true or false? And the correct answer is, hati po tayo, may A. Marami ding B. At ang tamang sagot po dito ay false. Tandaan po natin ha, if we have a conjunction statement po, for a conjunction statement to be true, dapat lahat ng statements true. Kapag meron lang pong isa sa mga statements na false, then the entire conjunction statement is false. Letter A. Truth. Charot. Ay, grabe siya. Grabe kayo. So letter A, false. How about number 50? The disjunction of a true and a false statement is it A, false, or is it B, true? Again po ha, kapag sinabi po natin disjunction or, halimbawa, so true or false. Is it false or is it true? Wow, marami pong nagsasabi na true. True nga kaya ang pagmamahal niya sa'yo, Charla. True nga ba? And tandaan po natin, for a disjunction statement to be true, then at least one of the statements should be true. That's why kahit meron kang 1,000,000 statements na kinunan ng disjunction or kahit mali pa yung 999,999, pero may isa kang tama, tama po yun sa kabuuan. Letter B. True ang nararamdaman ko sa kanya, Char. Ay, grabe siya. Yung, naku, ewan ko na lang. Letter B. 51. A false statement implying a true statement is a statement that is blank in general. Is it false or true? False implies true. Is it true or is it false? Okay, wow. Marami po ang convinced sa letter B, which is true. And if false implies true, is actually true. Okay, tandaan po natin ha. Sa apat, if you have two statements, no, apat po yung case niyan. Pwedeng true, 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 false, false, true, false, false. An implication statement is only false if true implies false. The rest po are true. That's why false implies true is true in general. Letter B. True, dahil may iba na siya. Ay, grabe. Kahit false, true pa rin. Ay, grabe siya. Logic po ito, ha? 52. When is a biconditional if and only if statement true? A. Both hypothesis and conclusion are true. B. Hypothesis is true and conclusion is false. Letter A po ba o letter B? Okay, sabi ninyo, both hypothesis and conclusion are true. And if you answered such, you are actually correct. Tandaan po natin, if you take the bicondition, if you have a biconditional statement po, no, it's only true when both premise and conclusion, or if the two statements have the same truth value. Halimbawa, true, true, or false, false. Pero kapag magkaiba sila, true, false, or false, true, automatic, hindi po yan. Automatic false na po yan talaga. Parang pagmamahal nilang sa'yo. Char lang. Okay. 53. Which of the following is the converse of P implies Q? Is it A, Q implies P, or B, not P implies not Q? What do you think? Okay, letter A daw. Converse. And if you answered letter A, again, napakagaling nyo. Tama po. Kapag sinabi po kasi nating converse, binabaliktad mo lang yung posisyon ng premise at saka conclusion. The premise takes the position of the conclusion, and the conclusion takes the position of the premise. Yung letter B naman po, yung not P implies not Q, is what you call the inverse of a conditional statement. No? So the correct answer here is letter A. Galing. 54. Which is true? All squares are rhombuses. Or B, all rhombuses are squares. 54? Oh, wow. Letter A daw. Sabi ni Sir Patrick. And ng lahat na din ng nag-comment. Alright? Tama nga kaya? Tandaan po natin ha, squares, 4 equal sides and 4 equal angles. Rhombuses, 4 equal sides only. And tandaan po natin that letter A is correct. All squares are rhombuses, but not all rhombuses are squares. Be careful po. Letter A. 55. What is the formula for the circumference of a circle? Is it A, 2 pi r, or B, pi r squared? Circumference. Okay. 2 pi r yung sagot ng madlang people. And if you answered 2 pi r, you are actually tama po ulit. Kasi yung pi r squared is in fact the formula in finding the area of a circle. Letter A. Grabe kayo, madlang people. Fast drill po ito. Fast po tayo, pero fast din po yung pagbibigay natin ng answers. So, good job po and keep it up, no? Next, what is the formula for the area of a rhombus? Is it A, base times height? Or B, S squared? Okay, saan dyan? A nga ba? O B? Okay, grabe kayo. Letter A, and if you answered A, tama po kayo. Take note po ha, the S squared is usually used for the formula of a square, no? And take note po, a square is also a rhombus. The base and the height of a square, for the base and height of a square are equal to S. That's why the best answer here is actually letter A, base times height. Next, what is the sum of the interior angles in degrees of a pentagon? Is it A, 540 degrees, or B, 720 degrees? Ay, grabe si Sir Emmanuel. Humuhugot po siya. Saan kaya siya kumukuha ng hugot sa buhay niya? Okay. A nga ba o B? Sum of the interior angles of a pentagon. All right. Many of you answered letter A. May mangilan-ngilang sumagot ng B. Take note po ha. The sum of the interior angles of any convex polygon is 180 degrees times n minus 2, where n is the number of sides. So ang pentagon po, yung n ng pentagon ay 5. 5 minus 2, 3. 3 times 180 gives you 540 degrees. Yung 720 degrees naman po ay the sum of the interior angles, that of a hexagon. Letter A. Okay, thank you po, Ma'am Tricia and Sir John, for giving us the formulas. Thank you po. Good job. 58. What angle is equal to its supplement? Is it A, 45, or B, 90? Okay, what do you think? Equal to its supplement. Okay. Kung supplementary po sila, ilan po ba dapat yung sum nila? Dapat ba 90 degrees? O dapat ba 180 degrees? Dapat 180 degrees. At dahil equal po yung dalawang angles na to, so 180 degrees divided by 2 gives us 90 degrees, letter D. Good job, everyone. 59. What is the volume of the sphere whose radius is r, and of course, your radius should be greater than 0? Is it A, 4/3 pi r cubed? Or is it B, 3/4 pi r cubed. Which of A or B do you think ang tama? 4/3 nga ba? Or 3/4 dapat? Or ako dapat? Ano ba? Ano daw? Okay, 4/3. Convince ata yung karamihan sa inyo na 4/3 yung tamang sagot. And if you answered 4/3 pi r cubed, I am very happy and proud of you dahil tama po yan. Letter A. Babae po laging tama. Sir Francisco, grabe ka. Ikaw, grabe siya. Ay nako. Gusto ko yung mga hugot ko sa buhay, ha? Okay. 60. What is the lateral area of a cube whose edge measures S units? Is it A, 4S squared, or B, 6S squared? Take note, ha? Lateral area po yung hinahanap. Lateral area. 4S squared o 6S squared? Okay, marami po sa atin ang sumagot ng letrang B, which is 6S squared. May mangilan-ngilang sumagot ng letter A, which is 4S squared. Saan kaya sa inyo? I mean, sino kaya sa inyo ang tama? And the correct answer is tan taradan tan 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 tan. Letter A, 4S squared. Bakit 4S squared? Gaya nga ng sinabi ni Sir Giancarlo, no? Minus the area of the top and the bottom sides. Tama po yan. Yung lateral area po, 4 lang po na faces ang ina-add natin. Yung top at saka bottom, excluded po yung area nila. In fact, the formula na 6S squared, surface area po yan. Formula po yan ng surface area ng isang cube. I hope na clear po sa atin. Letter A. 61. What do you call the amount of matter inside a space figure? Is it A, surface area, or B, volume? Wow, bilis. Ang bilis. Grabe. Very proud of you. Ang bilis nyo. We call it volume. Tama po. Letter B. B po yan. It is what you call volume po, no? It's the amount of matter or space inside a space figure. Kapag sinabi naman po nating area or surface area, I mean, it is the amount or the number of square units, no, found in the surface of a space figure. So the surface area is expressed in square units, whereas volume is expressed in cubic units. Letter B. 62. The parabola y equals x squared plus 3x opens. Is it A, upward, or B, downward? Excuse me po. Sorry. Okay, upward nga ba? Letter A. Kung upward po yung sagot nyo, tama po kayo. Why? How do we know if the standard equation, or if given the standard form of the equation of the parabola, paano natin malalaman kung upward siya or downward? That is, if the leading coefficient is positive, then it opens upward. Or, if the leading coefficient or yung coefficient na kasama ni x squared, kung negative po yan dito, it would actually open downward. That's why letter A po yung tamang sagot. Si Sir Jerome, nako, mali talaga ako sa kanya. Sir, sige lang, yung mahalaga, nagkamali ka man sa kanya, may natutunan ka naman sa buhay. Letter A. Good job, everyone. What is the slope of the line y equals 3x minus 4? Is it A, -4, or B, 3? Okay, -4 daw. Sorry, 3 pala. And if you answered 3, grabe. If you answered 3 po, nako, pasado na po kayo sa board exam. Baka mag-top pa nga kayo, no? So remember, this is the slope-intercept form of a line, which is in the form y equals mx plus b. yung kasama ng x mo, yung kasama ng x mo, yun po yung slope natin. In fact, the -4 here is the y-intercept and the slope is indeed 3. Letter B. 64. The graph of the line y equals 3x minus 5 blank to the right. Is it A, rises to the right, or B, does it fall to the right? Yes. Grabe naman yung mga comment nyo, ha? Letter A nga ba? Paano nga ba natin malalaman kung nag-rise siya sa right or nagpo-fall siya sa right given the slope-intercept form? That is, if the value of the slope is positive, then it rises to the right. But if the value of the slope is negative, then it falls to the right. Grabe. A. Ayoko mag-fall sa maling tao. Grabe kayo. So you could see po, no, that the slope here is 3, which is positive. So without even graphing, this line rises to the right. The graph is a line that rises to the right. Letter A. 65. Good job. It is the set of all points equidistant from a point called center. Ano yung tawag dito? Is it A, ellipse? Or is it B, circle? Okay, many are convinced na letter B ang tamang sagot. And you are actually correct. No? It is the set of all points equidistant sa center. Letter B. Good job, everyone. Okay, take note po ha. Until 100 items po tayo. So far, we are at the 65th mark. Let's move on. No? Sa next item. If X is an acute angle of a right triangle, which of the following is sine X? Is it A, opposite over hypotenuse? Or is it B, adjacent over hypotenuse? Sine X? Wow, letter A. Nako, kayo na talaga. And if you answered A, you again are correct. Because remember, meron po tayong SOHCAHTOA. Sine is equal S-O-H, opposite over hypotenuse. Samantalang yung ka naman po, excuse me, yung ka or CAH stands for cosine equals adjacent over hypotenuse. That's why yung letter B option, yan po ay cosine X. So letter A po yung tamang sagot. SOHCAHTOA. Grabe yung comment ni Sir Francisco. 67. What is the value of 5 raised to 0? Is it A, 1, or is it B, 0? Okay? Letter A nga ba? Is 5 raised to 0 equal to 1? Or is it equal to 0? And the correct answer is, I'm very happy again that many of you got it right. It's 1. Tandaan po natin ha, mga moms and sirs, if you have any non-zero number raised to 0 is any non-zero real number raised to 0 is always equal to 1. Letter A. All right. 68. This is the center of a circle with equation x minus 3 quantity squared plus y plus 1 quantity squared equals 9. Is it 3 negative 1? Or is it negative 3, 1? Okay, paki-comment po ng sagot natin. Sa 68, grabe. Lahat ng nag-comment, letter A. So tama nga ba kayo lahat? O baka naman mali kayo lahat? Take note po ha, the equation of a circle in standard form is x minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared equals r squared. And for that, ini-equate po natin actually yung x minus 3 sa 0. No? X minus 3 equals 0 means x equals 3. That's your h. Your h is 3. Y plus 1 equals 0, which means y equals negative 1. And that negative 1 is your k. That's why I agree that the correct answer is letter A, 3, -1. Gagaling ng math major, minamata na lang. Ay nako, napaka-basic po ng math. Char lang po. Again po ha, this is fast drills. So the exercises I give you are usually easy, no, to moderate difficulty. And that's why dapat pabilisan po talaga ito. No? Ito po yung goal natin. 69. This is the longest chord of a circle. Is it A, diameter, or is it B, the radius? Letter A daw. Diameter. And if you answer diameter, tama po naman kayo ulit. Diameter is in fact the longest chord of a circle, and the diameter passes through, it is the only chord, no? Or it is a chord, I mean, that passes through the center of your circle. Radius is not a chord. Tandaan po natin ha, diameter is a chord, but radius is not a chord. Letter A. 70. The x-intercept of x plus 2y equals 8. Is it A, 4, or is it B, 8? X-intercept. Okay. Many answered letter B. Marami din, or meron din namang sumagot ng A. Konti, na may konti ding sumagot ng A. A nga ba o si B? Take note po ha, when we say x-intercept, to solve for x-intercept, what I mean, to solve for x-intercept, di ba, we let y equal 0. To solve for naman for y-intercept, we let x be equal to 0. That's why in this case po, dahil x-intercept yung hinahanap natin, we let y be equal to 0. And by substitution, that's x plus 2 times 0 equals 8, giving us 2 times 0 is 0. So what is left is x equals 8. And that is letter B. Careful. X-intercept po ha. Yung x mo in-intercept. Char lang. Okay? Letter B. 71. Look. Grabe siya. Gusto ko yan eh. Yung mga maraming hugot sa buhay. Next. The approximate value of E or your natural logarithm. Is it A, 2.71828, or is it B, 3.14159? Okay, letter A. A. Tama po kayo. Letter A. In fact, choice B, no, is the approximate value of pi. 3.14159. Letter A. Yes, Ma'am Jessica, kaya maging LPT? Yes po. Push natin. Kaya po. 72. The domain of linear functions. Is it A, the set of real numbers, or B, the set of natural numbers? What do you think? Domain ng linear functions. Real or natural? All right. Okay. And you are correct. Excuse me. The correct answer po is the set of real numbers. No? Letter A. Because remember, if you draw a linear function, it is actually continuous, no? At both ends. That's why yung domain mo or yung set of allowable x values is the set of real numbers. Letter A. In fact, if you have a line that rises or falls to the right, your range is also the set of real numbers. Letter A. 73. This is the set of all x. Such, the column is read as such that. Diba sa iba, vertical lang yan. This is the set of all x, such that x is an element of A, or x is an element of B. Is it A union B, or B, A intersection B? Wow. Many answered letter A, which is union, and I agree with you on that. Letter A. Yung letter B po kasi o intersection, it is the set of all x such that x is an element of A and take note po ha, kung letter B na intersection, dapat and po yan dito. Kung or, union. Letter A. 74. What law can be used to determine the length of AB? Is it A, the law of sines, or B, the law of cosines? Tignan niyo po, oh. AC is 11, angle C is 37 degrees, ang side CB is 8. We're looking for the length of AB, which is represented by small letter C. P daw, law of cosines. And if you answered law of cosines, again po, napaka-proud. Nakaka-proud. Tama. Bakit? Tandaan po natin ha, meron lang pong dalawang cases or scenarios no, kung saan maaari po natin gamitin yung law of cosines. That is, if you are given SSS or the three sides of your triangle or SAS. Like this po, oh, side, angle, side. Yung SAS po, if you are given two sides and an included angle, you can determine the remaining side. Letter B. Grabe. Good job, everyone. 75. The ratio of cosine theta and sine theta is equivalent to A, tangent theta, or B, cotangent theta. What do you think? Cosine, ratio of cosine and sine. Okay? What do you think? Okay, many of you answered letter B. Take note, when we say ratio of cosine and theta and sine theta, it means cosine theta over or divided by sine theta. What's cosine theta divided by sine theta? And that is dun, 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 dun. Letter B, cotangent theta. Okay? Letter B po yan. Okay. Okay? Bakit, no? Yung tangent theta po kasi, it's actually sine theta over cosine theta. Samantalang yung cotangent theta, that's cosine theta over sine theta. Letter B. All right. 76. If cosine A equals 2/5, what is secant A? Is it 5/2 or is it 3/5? Okay, what do you think? Cosine A is 2/5. What is secant A? Secant A is? Wow, very good. Many of you answered letter A. And if you did, congratulations. Tandaan po natin that cosine A and secant A are actually reciprocals of one another. No? Again, ha, with the assumption po that they are defined, no? That each of them is defined. So if cosine A is 2/5, then it follows that secant A is its reciprocal, which is 5/2. Letter A. Galing. 77. Which of the following is equal to cosine squared x minus sine squared x? Is it A, cosine 2x? Or is it B, cosine 2x? What do you think? Letter A daw, cosine 2x. And if you answered letter A, you are actually correct, no? So this is cosine 2x. Yung sine 2x naman po is actually 2 sine x cosine x. Ito po yung mga double angle identities natin. No? Letter A. Good job, everyone. 78. What do you call a subset of the sample space? Is it what you call discrete variable? Or is it what you call event? A nga ba o B? A subset of the sample space. Okay, baby mo, nako. Pero meron din namang sumagot ng A, no? And ang tamang sagot po ay, tingnan natin. Kapag sinabi po kasi nating discrete variable, it is a variable whose value is obtained by counting. And the correct answer here is actually event. It is a subset of your sample space. Event. Halimbawa, kapag nag-roll ka ng die na numbered 1 to 6, so yung possible event, yung, di ba yung sample space mo, pwedeng 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Kung ano yung lalabas, halimbawa, gusto mo lalabas yung 1. So that could be an event, di ba? Letter P. So yung ano, kung ano yung maaaring lumabas o yung lumabas sa pag-roll mo ng die, that could be an event. Letter P. 79. What does a probability of zero mean? Is it A, certainty, or B, will not happen? Probability of zero. Okay. Ito yung probability na maging kayo. And that is will not happen. Grabe, no? Napaka-ano naman siya, no? Napaka-brutal. Biro lang po. A probability of 1 indicates certainty. Meaning, if a probability that something, that an event will occur is 1, meaning surely, mangyayari po yan. Pero, kapag yung probability mo or chance ay 0, nako, kahit anong gawin mo, hindi po yan lalabas o mangyayari. Letter B. B, walang kayo. Eh grabe, saklap ng 0 probability. Nako. 80. Which has more sides? Heptagon or octagon? Okay, B. So far, naku, napakadaming sumasagot ng B. Be happy because you are right. Dahil alam po natin na yung heptagon ay merong 7 sides at yung octagon naman po ay merong 8 sides. So, octagon has more sides than heptagon, no? Parang sides ng ano, no? Yung sides ng kwento-kwento. Char lang. Letter B. 81. What is the product of all real numbers? Is it A, 0, or B, infinity? The product of all real numbers, 0 o infinity? Ay, grabe. Maraming sumagot ng A. Pero meron din naman po konting sumagot ng B. Okay, binawi ni ma'am. A na daw. Bakit A? Tama nga kaya si A? 0 nga ba? And if you answered A, tama po kayo. Bakit 0? Remember that 0 is also a real number, no? 0 is also a real number. And dahil 0 is one of the numbers na i-multiply mo, any number multiplied by 0 is actually 0. That's why, gaano man kalaking number na yan, dahil i-multiply mo siya sa 0, parang probability na maging kayo, 0. Char lang po. Letter A. 0. 82. What do you call a line that is perpendicular to the tangent line at the point of tangency? Is it a normal line or is it incremental line? This is in your calculus po. Normal ba ito o incremental? Letter A is correct. A normal line is a line that goes through the point XY and is perpendicular to your tangent line. So halimbawa po, yung red line na to, no? Ito po yung tangent line mo at a certain point sa isang curve. Kung i-draw mo naman po yung normal line will be perpendicular, no? So a tangent line and a normal line are perpendicular with one another. Letter A. Galing. 83. What is the antiderivative of a constant A? Is it A, AX plus C, or B, 0? This is with respect to X po, ha? Di ko po nasabi. This is with respect to X. To your X. Okay, letter A daw, which is AX plus C. Take note that anti-differentiation is the opposite of derivation or of your derivative. Ang tamang sagot po ay letter A, AX plus C. So, lagyan mo lang po siya ng variable na X at it will be added by a certain C or constant, no? Okay. We don't know what that constant is, but if you take the derivative of a constant kasi, magiging zero din naman yan. Kaya kapag kinuha mo yung derivative ng AX plus C, pabalik ka sa A. Yung letter B naman po na zero is actually the derivative of any non-zero constant. X, okay. 84. Which of the following is most likely least appealing to students who learn how to add integers? Is it A, lecture, or B, discovery? Least appealing, lecture or discovery? Okay, I do agree that letter A is the correct or the best answer. No? Kasi in lecture method, the students are not really actively involved. But in discovery, they are actively involved in their learning. Letter A. How about this one? Which of the following is important when you are able to determine that students do not pay attention in class? A, scold them, or B, motivate them? Konting Prof. Ed. Okay, scold them, grabe ka naman. Scold them to motivate them. Ay, grabe siya. No. Of course, no? So you answered B, and I also agree with that. No? We have to motivate them, no, to listen. Let's do our best to motivate them for them to listen also in our lesson. How about 86? This one. Which of the following tools is great in teaching transformations of graphs of quadratic functions? Is it A, GeoGebra, or B, Microsoft Excel? Wow, of course, napakabilis. Letter A. And I do agree with letter A, no? What is good with GeoGebra is that it is a dynamic software that integrates all together geometry, algebra, spreadsheet, calculus, among others. So it's good, no? Because once you plotted there or wrote, encoded the function, it will graph the function immediately, no? And I believe that Microsoft Excel is also making graphs or charts, I mean, but it is less powerful, no? Especially in graphing quadratic functions or functions in general. Letter A. Malapit na. Galing. 87. You found out that students like working on manipulatives. Which of the following activities will help them learn the volume of a cone? B, research about the formula. B, let them perform experiments with actual models. Okay. All right. Many of you answered B. And if you could see here, no, from the premise or from the STEM, working on manipulatives. So when we say manipulatives, these are concrete objects that students can use for them to understand better mathematical concepts. And letter B, let them perform experiments with actual models. They will work with models of cone. B is the best or the correct answer here. 88. Which of the following softwares below is best for statistical analysis? Is it A, GeoGebra, or B, SPSS? Okay, SPSS now. Many of you answered that. And if you answered SPSS, again po, tama kayo. GeoGebra is also capable of doing some statistical calculations. However, it's limited. And SPSS, no, or the statistical package for the social sciences is better actually, no? Because this one, it has more functions and choices, no, of statistical techniques or methods. Letter B. And SPSS is also made for statistics talaga. 89. You would like your students to understand the trend of sales of the school canteen. Which of the following graphs is best to use? Is it A, line graph, or B, pie graph? Trend po ha? Trend. Letter A, line graph. Kapag sinabi po nating trend, for example, diyan mo makikita nag-i-increase nga ba yung sale from one month to the next? Nag-decrease nga ba? Or let's say wala bang pagbabago? Line graph nga ba o pie graph? Trend. Okay, hati po tayo. May sumagot ng A, may sumagot ng B. And the correct answer is trend. Para makita mo kung increase o decrease. Yung pie graph, hindi po. Sorry. Pie graph is actually to determine the relative sizes of one group to the rest of the groups. Pero trend, makikita mo sa line graph, ay, tumaas yung sales. Letter A, line graph. Trending na sir sa line. Ay, grabe siya. Line graph po. Grabe si Ma'am Kate. Same. AD, wow. 90. Mr. Pedros utilized the following image for his math class. Tingnan po ninyo mabuti. What is he most likely trying to model here? Is it x plus 3 equals 7? Or is it 3x plus 7 equals 7? A nga ba? O B? Okay, many people answered letter A, and letter A is correct po. Bakit? Remember, magkasing bigat po silang dalawa, no? Which means, kung i-add mo si X at saka si tatlong circles, dapat equal siya sa 7 circles. So, it's additive by nature po, not multiplicative. Kasi kino-combine mo yung weights, no? That's why it's X plus 3 equals 7. Magaling, magaling, magaling. 91. Ito naman po. Based on the image, how many squares should the question mark be for the students to get the correct answer? Is it 2 or is it 6? Tingnan po ninyo, ha? Dagdag man si X ng 3, magkatimbang pa rin sila. Ay, grabe. Grabe yung hugot na to, Ma'am Mary Kate. Ikaw na. So ito po, dalawang squares, isang bilog. Kung tatlong squares or tatlong bilog, ilang squares? Is it 2 or is it 6? And, all right. Okay. Dahil ang isang bilog po ay dalawang square, so ito, dalawang square, dalawang square, dalawang square. That's why I agree that indeed the question mark represents 6 squares. Letter P. Okay, galing. 92. Which of the following concepts could be used to make students realize that mathematics is also applicable to other areas of knowledge or discipline? Is it A, contextualization, or is it B, integration? Okay, contextualization ba o integration? Okay, pakibilis. Galing. Ang bilis nga. Ang sagot nyo ay letter D o integration, which is something I agree upon. No? Kapag sinabi po natin contextualization, ginagamit po natin yung background knowledge, no? O yung pinanggalingan o cultural background ng learners natin or something that they are familiar with and bring it to the classroom as part of our lesson. Halimbawa, yung integration naman po, tinatry natin ang best natin na not to compartmentalize learning, na ang mathematics, okay, related din pala siya sa ibang disciplines or areas of study. Letter P. 93. You found out that the distribution of scores in addition of fractions is negatively skewed. What is the best thing to do? Is it A, proceed to the next lesson, or B, reteach the topic? What do you think? Negatively skewed ang scores. Proceed to the next lesson or reteach the topic? Okay, letter A, letter A, letter A. Marami ang sumagot ng A. Pero tanungin natin ang self natin. Ano nga ba yung ibig sabihin ng negatively skewed distribution? It means that majority of the, remember, in a negatively skewed distribution, the mean is the lowest and the mode is the highest, which means, or this tells us that majority or most likely many or majority of the people got high scores. At dahil marami po ang nakakuha ng high score, it is an indicator that many students understand the lesson and that the teacher could proceed to the next lesson. Letter A. Kung positively skewed, most likely reteach po or provide remediation. Letter A po talaga. Okay, tama po Sir Jason at Ma'am Mildred. Push natin to. 94. Teacher Zen made her test considerably longer. Generally, the longer the test, the higher is its A, interpretability, or B, reliability. Okay, comment po. Saan yung mas mataas? Yung interpretability or reliability? Kapag mas mahaba. Okay? Tama nga ba? Ang letter B na reliability, and you are actually correct. Reliability is all about consistency, no? So dyan mo makikita kung consistent nga ba ang bata if the exam has more items. Okay? But of course, generally, as long as considerable po, no? Or okay po yung length niya. The longer, the higher the reliability. Thank you. 95. Item number 7 got a difficulty index of 0.01. What does it imply about item number 7? Is it very easy or is it very difficult? Okay, para mas mahaba, mas marami. Okay. Sana all consistent. Okay. Very easy nga ba ito o very difficult? Oh, sabi ni Sir Francisco, very difficult. Okay. And very difficult is correct. Take note po ha, that difficulty index ranges from 0 to 1. The closer the value to 0, the more difficult an item is dahil pakaunti ng pakaunti ang nakakakuha ng tamang sagot. However, if the value that you get becomes closer to 1, it tells you na parami ng parami ang nakakakuha ng tamang sagot, giving you an indication na easy yung item. So again ha, the closer to 0, very difficult. The closer to 1, the very easy the item is. Letter B. Next, higher scores in test A are associated with high scores in test B. There is blank correlation between the two tests. Is it A, negative, or B, positive? Grabe, reject the item. Sana all. Okay. Positive ba ito o negative? High scores in A, high scores in B. Okay. Take note po ha. B nga ba? Positive? Alright. Tandaan po natin. We have a positive correlation if as one variable increases, the other variable also increases. Or if one variable decreases, the other variable also decreases. In other words, kung magkapareho po yung direksyon ng two variables, taas-taas o baba-baba, positive po yan. Yung negative correlation naman po ay magkabaliktad. Baba-taas o taas-baba. Okay? So dahil taas, it's positive correlation. And I'm very happy for you, letter B. All right. Galing. 97. Why is it important for a teacher to make a table of specifications? Is it A, to make sure that the test items are in accordance to what was covered? Or B, to make sure that the test is reliable? Okay? What do you think po? A or B? Okay, A nga ba o B? Is TOS for validity or is TOS for reliability? Okay, marami pong sumagot ng A. Pero meron din pong sumagot ng B. Tandaan po natin ha, is The table of specifications addressing validity issues or reliability issues? And the correct answer is validity po. That's why gumagawa po tayo ng TOS to make sure that the test items are in accordance to what was covered. And of course, for us to allot the necessary number of items that could measure the number of the competencies that we have, no? Kasi nakadepende po yan eh. Ilang araw natin siyang tinuro, ganun po. Ilang hours mo siya tinuro. Normally, kapag mas maraming mong hours na tinuro yung isang competency, maraming items dapat yung lalabas, maraming items dapat yung lalabas. Kung yung number of hours mo na pagtuturo dyan ay mababa, so siguro, mas kukonti yung items na ilalaan mo para dyan. So it's more of validity po. Letter A. 98. To determine the samples for her study, teacher Mia made use of drawing of lots or draw lots. What sampling technique is she employing? Is it simple random or is it B, convenience? 98 is A, and many are convinced about it, and that makes me happy as well. Now, it's simple random. Kapag sinabi po nating convenient sampling, usually you use convenient sampling, no? If the researcher does not want to spend much time, energy, or effort, yung tendency niya is kukunin niya yung sino yung pinakamalapit sa kanya na willing mag-provide ng data, halimbawa, no? So that's convenient sampling. Kung sino yung malapit sa kanya at willing mag-provide ng data, convenient sampling po yan. Pero kapag nag-draw lots ka po, that's a probability sampling technique. That's simple random sampling. Sana all malapit at willing ay sana all. Grabe. Convenience is sino lang nandyan. Para kang talking stage mo, kailangan ka kasi convenient. Ay, grabe. Makahugot, wagas. Letter A. 99. Teacher Angelica made use of information found in math books for her class. Data found from such sources is an example of blank data. Okay, what do you call that? Data na galing sa libro. Is it primary or secondary? Grabe, lugi sa long distance relationship. Primary nga ba? Libro. Kukuha ka ng data sa math book. Primary ba yan o secondary? Marami pong sumagot ng B. May kukonting A. Tandaan po natin ha, that primary data is usually collected by the researcher or the person himself. Halimbawa, kumuha ka ng data from your respondents by means of a questionnaire, by means of interview, by means of observing them, or by means of experimenting with them. And your data is not published, primary data po yan. Kapag sinabi naman po nating secondary data, these data are found in books, encyclopedias. It could be published or unpublished. It could be found on the internet. That's why po, ang tamang sagot ay primary. Sorry, it is a secondary data, I mean. Okay? Secondary po. Yan. Kapag ginugol mo yung sagot, secondary na rin yun. Or kinuha mo yung data sa Google, secondary din po yan. And one more. Consider a score to be part of a normal distribution. A negative z-score indicates that an individual score is A, less than the mean, or B, greater than the mean. Sinabi niya sa'yo, break na kayo. Primary data. Tama. Grabe. Okay. Kung negative ang z-score, ang score mo ay mas mataas, mas mababa, or mas mataas? Very good. It's actually less than the mean. Kung positive ang z-score, meaning yung score ng individual na yon ay mas mataas kaysa sa ating mean. Okay? And I hope that you learned something out of this discussion. Thank you very much, and a great day to one and all. God bless everyone.